Hello, my name is Krisa Skodre. I'm teaching this virtual course in media communication in Kauno, Kolegijia University of Applied Sciences in the city of Kaunas in Lithuania. I'm now in Helsinki, Finland, and my group of students are in Lithuania. In this session today, hello everyone.
Hello.
Can you see me and hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right, good. So we had some technical difficulties. I couldn't access Moodle. I couldn't access my own email. I was thinking that whether my email is hacked, but in any case, now we are back on air. I don't know. Did you receive any information from from other colleagues, from other teachers that this session will be cancelled today? Because we have been discussing about that, whether should we cancel or not. You made it to school, though.
We didn't receive any message.
Okay, all right. But let's start today. I have a very short session, more of a keynote, and then we will continue. Today's topic is the news storytelling in connection with multimedia. So the third assignment that we will be unveiling and revealing in the coming days, and you have to complete, is to create a news story using multimedia. And a news story is something that it's newsworthy. And by newsworthy, I mean that it attracts people's attention, something that they don't know, something that when they hear, they're like, wow, I didn't know there was an earthquake there, or there's something that could be politics related, or it could be something in sports, that the victory of this team versus the other. So something new. And as you see from the traditional media, stories in radio, TV, print, they are news stories. So what I want you to do for this media communication course, as we have already seen before the communication theories and the traditional media, is to fuse those two together, and how news stories can be told with multimedia. And they have been said already, and they have been narrated through TV, for instance. There's lots of multimedia TV news storytelling. So I want you to familiarize yourself with that, and today we'll talk a little bit about the structure and the content of a news story. So I will share my screen so that you can see maybe here. Can you see now? Wait a second. We are going here and there. Do you see my present now?
Yes.
Yes. So we will start with this. It's a very short, it's more of a keynote, and then you will continue working on your own. So first of all, as a journalist myself, we learn a lot in journalism school about the structure of news stories. And we learn how to make press releases, statement to the press, that so that if you're a company, if you work for a business, let's say, and you do PR, because a journalist can work as a PR person in a company, in any company. You might want to contact the press when you have something newsworthy to tell, something worth telling, that your company is donating money for this good cause, or the company has discovered or has a new innovation, or has won a competition or an award. That's newsworthy. It's not everyday things. So newsworthy events are some events that really captures people's attention, and they don't happen because they don't happen every day. Not every day there's an earthquake, maybe somewhere around the world, maybe smaller scale, but let's say a big earthquake happens now and then as the tectonic plates move below the Earth's surface. So one technique that journalists are using when they're structuring their stories is the inverted pyramid. And this is what we'll look today. So the inverted pyramid is basically a pyramid upside down. So first in the pyramid we have the lead. The most important information has to come first in any news story, whether it's an article in a newspaper, whether it's on a report or TV. So who has done what, when, where, why, and how. So if you open a newspaper today, you will see that the most important information always comes first. This small paragraph is called the lead. Did you have any journalism-related courses throughout your studies? Some of you, I think, may take some optional courses, I heard. Maybe, no? Has somebody taken any writing courses or journalism courses through your studies? No. No. Okay, but this will give you, today's session will give you an idea. You won't become journalist out of a sudden, but why not? Somebody could have some basic skills on top of your multimedia technology knowledge so that you don't only focus on the technical point of view, but also in the content, so that you'll be able, if you work one day in a TV studio, to understand what journalists are trying to make out of their story, so that you can have a better cooperation with other creative people, writers, for instance, that you work together in a project. So, the lead is the first, most important things that have to come first. And those also important things could be followed up by a hook. A hook is a provocative quote or a question. Provocative means something that makes people passionate about to either like that comment, that quote, or totally hate it. So you provoke people's emotions. So you say, would you pick up a wallet from the street, or would you put it in your pocket, or would you return it to the police? Well, let's see in today's news story what this citizen has done. And then it's a story about a poor man who found a wallet full of money and returned it to the police. Right? So that's a hook. Some question that can be asked early in the beginning, or it could be also a comment, some surprising sentence, not in a form of question, just as a comment that the presenter, the journalist, the person who is narrating the story could just say to make people think, yes, I would, no, I wouldn't, I love it, I hate it, people to take opposite opinions on a matter. So that was the first opening of a good news story. The most important things are said first. You don't spill all the beans, so you don't tell everything, but you tell just enough, and then with your hook, your question or provocative quote, you make people want to find out more about the story. So a good hook moves us next to the second part of the inverted pyramid, where we find the body. The body of a news story contains all the crucial information, the arguments from one side, the controversy of the other side. What is the actual story? What is the actual issue here? So let's say in the example that I gave about the poor man, the homeless man, let's say, picking up the wallet full of money and giving it to the police instead of keeping it himself, that he has he's in need of that money. In that story, perhaps the issue is about it's greater than the man himself. So perhaps it's not about that single individual who did that great did that great act and returned the wallet, but maybe it's generally for our society, and then that news story can include more information about our society today, that maybe we think that the such a people would never do that, that kindness is lost in the world and nobody cares anymore and everybody cares for themselves. So maybe the story, the news story, is about something more general than the main character of the story. And in this body, the second part of the news story, of a good news story that we mentioned, you include all the evidence, all the background, all the details, all the logical arguments, and you highlight those by using different multimedia. And here is where multimedia and your knowledge of different technologies and how to integrate text and videos and photos and audio come into place. So you can use evidence in a form of a photo or in the form of a graphic. Oh, see some statistics here. They made this. Actually, did you know that they made this lost wallet experiment in, I think, was it many, I have to send you an article, I don't remember now how many countries, but they made the lost wallet experiment a few years ago, where they have requested, where they have left wallets full of money and cards and IDs in countries around the world. And it turned out that, for instance, in Finland, out of the 12 wallets that have been placed in different places, 11 have been returned to the police. And then that experiment shows how many wallets were returned per country. I don't know, maybe we can search that. Let's see, lost wallet experiment. It's quite interesting. I often use this example. Yes, most honest cities, the Reader's Digest lost wallet experiment. Do you see still my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So I think I made it a few years ago. So here it is from Reader's Digest. Lost wallet test. What are the most and the least honest cities in the world? The Reader's Digest publication, magazine, and online version conducted a global social experiment to find out. So our reporters lost, in quotes, 192 wallets in cities around the world. In each we put a name with a cell phone number, a family photo, coupons, business cards, and an equivalent of $50. They dropped the 12 wallets in each of the 16 cities they selected, leaving them in parks, near shopping malls, on sidewalks, and they watched what would happen. So it turned out, as you see here, first result, most honest city, Helsinki, Finland, where 11 out of 12 wallets were returned. And here is a quote from a citizen of Helsinki, Lasse Luomakoski, a 27-year-old businessman, found our wallet downtown. Finns are naturally honest, Lasse said. We're a small, quiet, closely knit community. We have little corruption. We don't even run red lights. So then, very interesting, another fact that Mumbai, India, came second with 9 out of 12 wallets being returned. And then it continues here, the news story, and this is another example of a news story, and as you see how the news story is using quotes, what people said, the founders of the wallets, the people who found the wallets. So you can read this and then find more about this news story if you're interested. I don't know if they conducted this experiment in Lithuania, but
I don't think there was.
How many wallets do you think would be returned in Lithuania?
It depends where you lost it.
Where would you lose it, yeah? Okay. So this, for example, is a way where you use multimedia in the second part of your news story to support and expand more on the topic. And most importantly, also, here I skipped one thing, the quotes here. Remember to add quotes. What are quotes? Quotes are what people say. So as a good journalist or a researcher or multimedia student who does a news story, you have to have people, real people, that tell their own version, how they feel, what they think, and have a short clip of them saying something that that is related to your news story. Quotes add very much significant value into any news story because people trust people. They don't necessarily trust the journalists, or they don't necessarily trust the source of the press release. They don't trust the business that sends out a press release to the newspapers or to the media. But if they see some normal citizens, some normal everyday people that they might know, and they say their take, their opinion, their emotions, then they feel more connected. And last, in the very low part of the pyramid, we have the tail. And here comes all the least important information. Least important in a sense that it's not so crucial to know, it's interesting to know. There might be some more other related extra information, interesting information, but perhaps if somebody can live without this information. So just to recap, this is the inverted pyramid in news stories, where we start first from the bottom of what happens. Who does what, when, where, why, and how. As you've seen in the news story about the lost wallet experiment, the lead opened with the most important. Who, Reader's Digest magazine, did what? They did a social experiment. When, it was somewhere I don't remember. Where, in how many countries around the world? Was it 19 countries around the world? Why? To see who would return. How did they did it? Their reporters dropped wallets, 12 wallets in those cities. So, all this information was said in the first paragraph, and the timestamp there in the news article tells already that when that happened or what the report happened. And maybe a good hook for that story would be, would you return a wallet if you found it full of cards and things and some money? So that could be a question that makes people think. And then we move down to the main body of a news story. Here is all the crucial information. You expand more using multimedia, text, photos, videos, audios that support or disagree with the topic, different opinions, people's quotes. And then last, you close with other additional information that perhaps could be left out, they could be least important, but still they add something. So if somebody is really interested about your story, you give them more to think about. So that was my present. Now I'm back here. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yes. So that was the inverted model of news storytelling, which is the upside down model of a pyramid. So if a pyramid is like this, as we saw, this is like this. So the most important, least important, or very important, but then the least important at the end, from the top to the bottom. So now what I want you to do is to work now on defining the news story, or a news story that is interesting for you in a team. So make up a team with your colleagues there, with your classmates that you want to work with. It's good to combine people that they have different skills. And I want you to think of, to brainstorm different topics that could work very well for a news story in your city, in your school. Those, again, can be things that they're newsworthy on a particular topic. So, for instance, if you form a group that is interested in culture, maybe your news story would be an upcoming event where a singer that you like is performing, maybe for the first time in Kaunas, or a band. I don't know, just top of my head. Or if you like sports and basketball, maybe you can make a news story about a local basketball team that is doing very well, or they have gotten a new player or something, or they have a new coach, and you want to introduce the coach to the world. Something that is, it has some new information. Something that it could be also related to school. Think about that if something interests you. So what I would like you to do now is to form some teams to do this task, and already now write down your ideas about what the topic is and how you're going to tackle this using the inverted pyramid metaphor and model. So I want to see a small draft of what would be the topic, something that you know already. You can start brainstorming ideas. How will you handle it? Who are you going to ask for quotes? What kind of visuals will you get? Will you get some small interviews? Will you go out and film some people? So try to make some kind of script using this, or draft using this model. So how many people are you now in class?
I don't know if you want to see, I can show you.
Okay, I see many, very good.
And we should do this draft just in Word document or something else.
Yeah, some Word document that I can open, and you can put there in the same assignment in Moodle, more documents. I'll check that. So you can put your draft there, just name it or inverted pyramid draft from your team. You can mention who is in your team, what is your topic, and all this. Topic. And one thing I forgot, headline. What would be some headline? So for instance, if your news story is a video, okay? So what I expect at the end is perhaps a video that would be uploaded to Vimeo or YouTube, and it would include text and audio and a small interview and some quotes, things like that. So I would like to know what headline would you put on YouTube? What would be the name of your video? So headline. Of course, you can change that and then see when you talk to people or you know more information about the story. Okay?
Yeah, and how much people do we have to do it? I don't know.
I was thinking about 5 to 7 people for this task.
Yeah.
Because you need resources. 5 to 7 people. Get some people that maybe share some common interests, or they have some skills that you don't have and they could help you. And find some cool topic. Find something interesting that you would like to turn into a news story. You can show me your city. As I said, I don't know Kaunas. I haven't been there yet. So I want to know, you tell me the news of your city in this form of a news media news story. So what's new in your city? Is it a new shopping center or a new store coming in town, or is it, as I said, a new some artist that comes to town, or is it a building that makes people have very conflicting opinions, that somebody hates that building and somebody loves that building, why they built it there? Or do you have some environmental problems that you would like to make some story out of? Anything that you think that it's worth telling to the world, so people can know your city or your University of Applied Sciences, or any topic that you can choose of, and you feel that you know somebody maybe who could give you some interview or allow you to go there and take some pictures. Try to think of some interesting topic. It's a small city, so I believe you know many people, or you know somebody who knows somebody. Any ideas, some that come to your mind already?
I think first we have to find our groups. Then
Yes.
ideas will come.
Okay, but do you have as individuals some ideas, some of you? Do you have a topic that somebody feels passionate about already? Maybe can I ask you, if somebody has an idea, perhaps you can form also ideas, you can form also groups based on somebody else's idea. So I would like to hear if somebody would have an idea already. So somebody might have, oh, that I know that guy who brings that band, and we could do this, and then some people could go with that student and form a group. Maybe somebody else has another idea. So it's good, perhaps. Maybe I can leave you to discuss about it, and then we can have another call back at. Mm, let's do like this. Have a break now. Is it okay, or do you want later?
I think it's okay.
To have now,
I think.
or
No?
what
Yeah,
do
it's
the
okay.
rest think?
Yeah, everyone says that it's okay.
To have now.
Yeah.
Okay, so take some break now and then come back, find your teams. Some of you that have ideas, start telling your ideas to others and try to gather some people around to help you to turn that idea into your task. So then we will meet again at in 1 hour, 1:30, to debrief and see how things went and where you came up, like who are your teams and what is your stories you're working on. And then I want to see a first draft published in Moodle, uploaded for the inverted pyramid that you've done so far. Okay?
Yeah, okay. And I also wanted to ask you if are you receiving our emails in Google Call?
Sorry,
Are
what did you say?
are you receiving our emails on Google Call?
Now I can, yes.
Okay, because we have some questions and we asked you, but we didn't have an answer yet.
Okay. But what is the question for the previous assignments, or what?
Yes, about the previous assignment.
Yeah, the previous assignments, I will take some time now while you're working, and I will reply to you because I just got access now a few minutes ago before we go online.
So when we should get back? Today?
Today?
From our break? From our break, yes.
So from your break, take 15 minutes, come back, and then work for 45 minutes until 1:30, and then I'll call you back. We can continue the session in the same session, so don't close this. So then we can see what you have done so far and all this, just to catch up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. See you soon. Bye.
Kiek tu galėjai?
Hello, everyone. Please talk to me. Yes. Hi. Is everyone back? Not yet. How is it going? Okay, so now I see only one table with students there. I hear some other voices from the other side, but maybe somebody can come there in the computer and help me a little bit by turning the camera.
Yes, of course.
So that I see there. Is somebody there? Yes. Who is there? Yes, hi. Yes, so now we're back. Hello. Back in this Google Hangout on air, and we are live. I'll try to edit this video so it cuts away the 1 hour gap in between. So if you want to watch it again, you wouldn't have that long gap that we took. So how did it go? Did you form your teams already?
Yes.
Everyone has a team?
Yes.
All right. So let's start with Justas, sitting there in the front, right?
Yes.
Justas, is that you?
Yes.
Yes, hello. Tell me a little bit, who is your team?
My team is here. In here.
Audrius?
Yes.
Audrius, yes? Okay. Right, and?
And Venus.
Right.
And Venus.
Okay, 5 guys. Okay, very good. What is your topic, Audrius?
It's about renewed pine wood in the Kaunas.
What is this? A new what?
Pine wood, I believe, is the.
I don't hear you clearly. If you could repeat. Justas, can you repeat a little? Come closer to the camera, and if you can repeat a little bit, because I don't hear very well.
Kaunas pine wood.
Pine wood.
Yes. It's
What's
a
that?
bark.
A park.
No, it's like the wood, like park. It's just the English word. It means it's not the wood, and it's not the park. It's in something middle of it.
Okay.
There is a word in Lithuania,
Uh-huh.
but there is no exact word for English language.
Okay.
We cannot translate exactly what we mean. So in the topic we will show exact what it means and what it is. So
Okay.
it's about the renewal of it.
And you will make what?
It is about the renewal of it.
The renewal of it. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Do you have some ideas now in your inverted pyramid, like how you're going to structure your story? Top part, middle, and bottom?
Not exactly. We can have a short description of it, what we are going to write about. But nothing.
Okay. But I would like to see it today, by the end of today's session, to have an assignment uploaded there with your inverted pyramid, because that will give you some food for thought. It's good to discuss things, but it's good to have them also in paper so you can move on to the next step. Otherwise, we keep, in general, like people, we keep in the, like, talking about things. But when you put things on paper or virtually somewhere, then it's a promise. And you move on to the next point. Very good. And then other team? Another team, please. Help me there if you can rotate the camera.
Oh, well, what? There is my team.
Who is in that team?
There is Mantas, Rimvidas, Vidaute, and Matas, and me. I'm Victoria, by the way.
Yeah, Victoria.
And,
Yes.
And Justus.
How many people are you in your team?
7.
Okay. Just bear in mind that sometimes the more people, it's not the better. because if you have more people, though each person feels that it's not my responsibility, she promised to do it, I don't know, he promised to do it. So this happens a little bit in larger teams, so be careful of this phenomenon, that it doesn't happen in your team. I sent you, Victoria, some feedback also, since you asked before. So take that into consideration, because sometimes I notice, and maybe that includes you, Victoria, also, that sometimes students work very well individually, and then in a team, it's human nature, it's psychology. Sometimes in a team, the results can be brought down to a mediocre level, whereas as individuals, we can be very accomplished by ourselves and do amazing things. And then in a team, you're brought down to an average level. So be careful that it doesn't happen in your teams, and you keep a high standard even when you work with others, okay? That's a general comment. Is this clear, what I'm trying to say? So keep the standard a little bit high, okay? Don't, as if you would do it yourself and you would personally take credit for it or blame for it. So don't feel that in a team that other people take part of the blame, therefore you shouldn't work so hard. Good, but of course you divide the labor, absolutely. Then do we have any other team formed there today?
Silence.
O juk čia jūs neturit komandos?
So are you only 12 people there now?
I don't know, they probably just can't, I don't know, find the place to do it, find the people, I don't know.
Okay, but have there been more people before there and they didn't come after the break, or what?
Few left.
A few left, okay. But remember also this, that sometimes students send me emails asking information, send us this, can I have that? Whereas they're all things that we have been discussed in these virtual sessions, plus they're in Moodle. So I want to inform everybody from this Hangout on air, not necessarily you who are present there, but people who decide not to come. So since you don't come, you have the obligation and the responsibility to watch those videos from beginning to end. Otherwise, you don't understand, and I'm not going to reply to your messages individually to questions that have already been discussed, because this is not fair to the students who are now in class and attending, and also to the students who are, for their reasons, somewhere else and attend virtually and read Moodle and follow up. So make sure to keep the fairness to that level, that people who appear now, and now I know your names, you know, I recognize who is Justas, who is Audrius, who is Victoria, I can tell. So those people, of course, they will be also assessed accordingly. People who do act differently, they will be assessed with different criteria. I hope this is clear also. I'm just telling it now so that it's clear for everyone who will see this Hangout later on as well. Is it clear for everyone who is there in class today what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Yes, so everyone has to do their part. Either you are here or you have to watch at home and be active and do your assignments. Otherwise, you cannot rely that your classmates will do the work or the teacher will do your work or inform you individually. Good. It's all about responsibility at the end of the day. Now, I would like to show you something really nice. Justas, can I ask you, have you worked alone for the communication theory, or did you have a pair or a team?
Me?
Yes.
I worked with Linus and Philips.
Because I couldn't find their names there on your Prezi.
In the spreadsheet. in the Excel file.
Okay. Could you could also put your names there in the Prezi, so it's clear.
Okay.
Okay, I sent you a message regarding that, but I just wanted to make sure because sometimes you write maybe things change from that Excel that we made. But if they're the same names, okay, just copy paste their names there in the Prezi so that I know.
Okay.
Just to be sure. Good. But now, since we are talking with Justas, I will just show you. Let me now do this. Yes. This is what I would like to show you. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
This is the very nice assignment that I have received from Justas and his 3-member team, including him. Is that so, Justas?
Yes.
Yes. Does everyone see? Can everyone see my screen, please?
Yes.
Huh? Yes. So take a look at this, because this is really a remarkable example of the assignment that I have asked. As we discussed, we spoke about infographics, we've given some characteristics of infographics. You had to do some further reading. Then there was the assignment description. And then at the end of the day, you had to produce an infographic of your own. So I want to show this as a brilliant example that captures really the essence of what the task is about. So this is the one theory that this pair, group of 3, has done. Can I stop now and ask Justas?
Yes.
Can I ask you? Wait a second. Let me see you. Here you are. Did you create this yourselves with your teammates?
I did the Prezi. They gave me the text to work with.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Have you worked with Prezi before?
No, this was my first Prezi. Well, my second, because my first one was about me, the assignment.
I've seen this. Yeah, that was nice too. Very good. So I would like to congratulate Justas and his team for his very good work. I'm very happy with the result, and I want to show it to others so that you can get inspired a little bit, because I've been sending some feedback to some of you. Some have been asking, and basically I want you to look at this and also make sure that you go through again the material and what we discussed so that you tick all the boxes. For instance, one main thing is that your infographic shouldn't be looking like a PowerPoint presentation or any presentation for the matter, but it should look as a very concise, informative piece of work, standalone, that it is. So one thing is also that this horizontal orientation that you've seen in the examples that I showed you before. So that is something that you can take into consideration instead of spreading out lots of information. And the second most important is the cohesion, that things have to look cohesive, which means that they belong into the same group, not just texts and pictures scattered around without telling any story. They have to look united into one common thing and one common theme, which is the theory. So this is something that I liked, and I want to I can give you some more feedback if to some teams, but if now some of you are watching you can make some edits and changes, and I allow you to re-upload your assignments if you feel that something perhaps you missed out or it wasn't clear, or you could have some other version to do or some other idea to group more your infographics to make them more cohesive so they don't look like a presentation with slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. And third and last thing that the information that I wrote there in the assignment at the end, when I read the assignment to you, also it's recorded on a Google Hangout last time, that it mentions some free simple tool, simple so to speak, but some freeware, some free tools that you can use, cloud-based or anyway available, such as Prezi and other websites. But I told you, if you remember, that you as multimedia technology students know more advanced programs and software, and your masters of so remarkable programs. So therefore, you can use any program that you know how to use and you're good at, and you produce that infographic with this. So you don't necessarily have to do Prezi or use some other free infographic tools if you feel that you don't know them, or they don't have all the functions you would like. So you can just work with Photoshop and make an infographic. That's my point. You don't have to use any other tool that you don't know. So tomorrow, do you have any questions regarding news stories? Your multimedia news story, what I expect from you to do?
We have to do a video for these stories, or also
Yes,
video?
a video, yes. So we have done an infographic with text and photos. Now we move on to video. Next time we will move on to a radio ad. So my goal is to take sort of different media categories or traditional media and fuse them with multimedia or with some new ideas. So from text and photos to videos to radio ads. That's the idea. So what I want is, I want to see videos that tell stories that can include, think about, for instance, you could have someone presenting that news story. So you have to find a person perhaps in your team or another person that it has to narrate the story. It could be some kind of reporter, right? That it can hold a microphone and speak to other people, maybe make an interview, go to places, and somebody from you could film that reporter going there and showing the place, meeting the people. And then you can include different material in the form of inserts. So you can insert text and photos and other information. So think about what material you need, who will be doing what. So think about this kind of news story for TV, basically, with multimedia elements included into that. So it's not just one person talking like a speaking head, like blah, 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 blah. But it could be one person talking, and then here comes a picture. Here comes a graph. So it's not, we don't see the face of the person all the time, but we need to have some kind of presenter, some kind of news caster or reporter for that story. Or it could be a people or two, or some concept that you have, or all of you somehow could be involved in a way. Think about that. Because then it will be very difficult only with text and images and to tell some story. I think a person would add this very good touch, as you see on TV in some news stories. So Find somebody from your team who could do it, or all of you, or an external person if you could convince someone to do it. Questions? What is this? No questions? Okay. Is this clear, Victoria, from your team? What was your news story?
We think about some legends of Kaunas, of some Kaunas places that I think not all citizens know it. So we want to tell some legends.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe we just also think about something else, but this is the first idea that.
Yeah. One advice to both teams and everyone who's watching this is that try to find something that it has current relevance, something that it's relevant today, in this week, in this month, right? Something that is now, it's hot topic at the moment. This is something what I discussed from the very beginning, the newsworthiness. When something is newsworthy, it means that it has a value now. It's relevant now. So you could think from that perspective that is this now some special season? Is this the birthday of a specific person? Or if you want to do about these legends, could you find a family member or somebody whose family had something to do with that legend? Or like some person who had some, or who found something, I don't know, in a cave or in, I don't know, a castle, or I don't know what kind of legends you're talking about. But find the people of the story and what's the importance of the story today. Why now? Like if we play this video, let's say your video on a news channel, could it stand as a news in a news on the news this week or next week? Is it relevant now? Is it newsworthy? That's something that you can think about. Otherwise, it's just some topic that, of course, could be played at any time. But the relevance and the now could be something that could make your story newsworthy. Extra points for that. So the teams who managed to pull out some newsworthy stories of the day. So one other advice would be that you can check, the news online. What are they talking about? You can pick up a local news. Do you have any local newspapers in Kaunas?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. What's the name of them?
Kauno Diena, if it's a newspaper, and there's some website like Kas vyksta Kaune.
Okay. Can you go, for example, to these websites now that Victoria is saying? Go to those online editions of these newspapers and see what are they writing about. And try to find some local news. You don't have to look around the world in Europe what's happening, but find in your city what's relevant now, what people are talking about. And give me some examples. I want to hear now a couple of news that they are discussing, they're writing about. It could be anything. It can be politics, it can be culture, it can be sports. Any news from Kaunas? What's happening now in Kaunas? Audrey, did you find any piece of news? I saw you have something, maybe. Or anyone who has, just please take your turn and share something with us.
Tikrai, kad neapsakė.
There is one news.
Yeah. Who is speaking? What's your name?
Rokas.
Rokas. Rokas. Yes.
So Kaunas people are being tested, their knowledge of the constitution in the exam. So
okay.
Maybe this one.
Very good. Exactly. So they're being tested now, their knowledge of the Lithuanian constitution, right?
Yes.
And who does that evaluation? Is it like a reporter on the street asking, or?
No, the exam itself takes place in the Ministry of Justice in certain locations.
The Minister of Justice. And how do they test that? Do they send out some people some questionnaires? So how do they test their knowledge?
They send invites.
Invites to an event or what?
To an exam, it's like a test.
To an exam, okay. And are this for all people or for specific groups of people?
Yes, they separated into certain criteria for people.
Say again, Rodas, please.
So separated into certain criteria.
So certain criteria. Repeat, please, because the sound doesn't reach so well there from the back. Come closer to the camera, please, if somebody has something to add, because the first table there I can hear, but the rest not so well.
Because, as I was saying, the entire exam is separated for the certain criteria of people.
Okay, all right. But in any case, Ministry of Justice, so now we have to know who does what, when, where, why, and how, right? That's why I'm asking you these questions. This is the lead. It should be in the article in the first paragraph. The Minister of Justice asking those people to pass an exam, those dates, for this purpose, and how it should be done. And the newspaper's role is to inform the people that where the exam can be passed. Is it you have to go to the school, or do you what documents you have to have with you? Can you take it online? For what criteria? For what purposes? Etc. etc. So, for example, this story that now it's relevant. It can give some ideas to you guys. For example, Justas and his team there. That you can do a similar report by taking a microphone and going on the street and asking people, making some quiz about the constitution. So what do you think about, is this part of the Lithuanian constitution or not? What do you think about that? So you can make some Gallup, for example, and then your news story would be, or you can make it in school, for example, right? So you don't have to go far away. On the square, on the old town, but you can do it in the school and say, now we are, you can have some kind of footage of a person standing out in front of the of your university and say, hello everybody, this is Krisa Skodra reporting live from Kauno, Kolegijia, University of Applied Sciences. Today we have a very interesting report. We are here at Kauno, blah, blah, and we plan to interview students about their knowledge of the Lithuanian constitution. So let's see what they reply. And then you go and talk to people. For example, okay? So you don't have to go far. That's what I spoke about the relativeness and the now, what's hot at the moment. And then you can give a similar report, and maybe a local channel will see your video and would like to hire you. Because this is how I want you to think, you know. This is good for your experience and for your portfolio as well. I think some from your class, some student, remember, works for some TV channel or some company somehow. They do lots of filming of sports events. So if you want to work in TV, it's a great example to show your work by filming something like that and then send it to them and say, this is our report from a school in Kaunas. Would you like to play it on your news? And let me tell you, you might think, nah, that's not going to happen. No, it happens because from experience, I can tell you, I have worked in radio, in newspapers, on TV. And what happens is that journalists and editors, they're looking for content every day. Think about that. Every day you have 1 hour of news to tell to the people, and there are days that there's no news. You have to come up with something, right? You have to make the news to fill in that hour of TV program, of radio program, or that 1 page of text in a newspaper. So what people sometimes don't understand is that to be active and approach media with their stories. So if your story is newsworthy, is interesting, and actually I know very much that newspapers love stories from students. They love, because here in Finland, I say the same things to my students, and I always encourage them, and I ask them to go and contact newspapers, to call them, to send their press releases. Of course, I teach them in public relations course how to write a press release and how to contact the press, and then they do it. And we have had for our university amazing coverage only driven by the students. So the journalists come to our University of Applied Sciences, to the former one that I used to work, and we're writing about the school's projects and the students' work and interviewing students. So it was all about the students. So take it from me, believe me, trust me, press, magazines, newspapers, media, they love anything that has to do with young people and anything that has to do with education. These are topics that always sell, always. And of course, apart from other things like big stories, like investigative things with crime and all that. But for peaceful pieces, education and students and young people always work. Side note to that, keep it in mind. Another piece of news, I want one more. What else is happening in Kaunas at the moment? Who is standing up there? Who is standing up? If you turn, Victoria, a little bit the screen there, can you please approach the camera? Come closer a little bit.
I am that student, Matas, who can sit for a month. I can.
Okay, Matas. Can I ask you, did you find any, do you read newspapers?
No.
You don't?
No.
Online? Do you read online news?
Sometimes I read, but not often.
Okay. How do you get information what's happening in your city?
Online, Facebook.
Okay.
Is most important news mostly come up in Facebook.
Somebody will share them, for example.
For example, 15 min, like 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's newsletter. So
Right. Okay. Do you know something else that's happening now in Kaunas, in any field, culture, sports, politics, society?
no.
No. Okay. From Mata's table there and Victoria's team, what piece of news you found online? What do those newspapers that Victoria mentioned have? Come, somebody please approach. Yes.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Hey, hello.
What was the question?
The question, I thought that you know the answer, that's why you're coming closer.
I know the answer, but what was the question?
No, you tell me, what was my question? How did you understood my question?
You want some news from Kaunas?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
We had a traffic accident last day.
Yesterday?
2 days ago, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Was it what kind of accident? What cars were involved in the vehicles were involved?
3 cars, I don't know.
Okay. Did people die? Was it a fatal accident or?
No, I think no one's
Okay.
had it.
All right.
Oh,
An accident. Okay. So you can make a new story. You can go to the street where the accident happened. How far away it is?
about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
For example, you can go there or you don't have to go there, but maybe you can write a story. You can make a video news story about what the safety of the roads, the signage. Is there good signage in Kaunas city? Maybe you would go and find all those signs that they're hidden behind some trees, or I don't know. Do you have this problem? Because I'm from Greece and we have that problem on the street. There's no good signage, so there's some trees there hiding the sign, and drivers cannot see the sign, and then there's an accident. Or maybe you have some other problems. Maybe people drink and drive, right? So maybe you make a report about the what people think about this. You can interview a police officer and say that what are the statistics for Kaunas, how many accidents happen. So you meet a policeman and ask, would you like to be in our report, or could you provide us with some information? So if they don't want to appear on the screen, then they can give you some information that you can use some graphics and say Kaunas accidents, or you can make a graph by yourself that here is a pie chart and shows here how many percentage, like 20% of the accidents in Lithuania happen in Kaunas. Why this is happening? We're out to investigate. So something like this, you know, again, this is just an example. You don't have to do the car accident, you don't have to do the constitution, but some ideas. I want you to find inspiration from what's happening now in your city, because people are talking about this. And you as multimedia students, you have this task and say that we do this for our school, and it's a good opportunity for you to show your work, like real work. Because I told you that I want you to make this very realistic, very well done, so that if you would work for a TV channel, okay? So I want you to put some effort. You're 5 people and 7 people, and some people will form groups later on. So have fun with this and show your best. I think it will be something good coming out of this. Yeah, make it interesting. Questions? Do you see the big picture, the vision of what you should be accomplishing here?
I have one more question.
Yes, please.
If we're gonna give interview, do we interview in English or in Lithuanian? Because some people don't speak English in Lithuanian.
Perfect question. So depending on the person, you know, it's good to ask them if they would like to be interviewed in English. That would save you a lot of work. But if they want to be interviewed in Lithuanian, then you would have to make somehow some subtitles to your text, right? To your video.
Okay.
So very good question from Justas. If you find some people who feel more comfortable, then you can make some kind of subtitles there and tell what this person has said, for example. It would be nice. Yeah. That's a good point. And also think about places where people speak. If you want to save yourself some work, maybe some tourist places, maybe some hotels, maybe some universities, right? Maybe you go to another university there, and the technology university. I think there you have one technology also institution, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go there. I had one friend who studied there, and ask that make a story there. you know, think smart, think how to make something good and also work efficiently, that you don't overwork yourselves. But other good questions?
When do we upload the draft?
When?
Yeah.
Today. The pyramid, you mean? I thought you had already some. I was expecting that, as we said, that you would have something by the end of this contact hours. But of course, you can take some time if you want by later on. But sorry, I just saw that now there's more people in the class sitting there. Victoria.
Maybe there.
Yes. So how about that team? So which news are you formed? Are you now one team?
Yes.
All right, but why don't you speak? I didn't see you, and I just said that there's only 12 people because I counted 5 plus 7, 12, and then that's why I thought there's only 12 students at the moment. But what is your story? What are you working on? First ideas? Come closer, please, one member from your team, so that we can hear you.
They don't have any ideas.
They have ideas. What did you discuss already in 1 hour? Okay, but did you discuss something about your news story?
Yes.
Your own news story? Victoria, what do they say? I cannot hear.
I don't know. I think they should come closer then.
Can you come closer, please, somebody from your team?
Then do we?
Okay, all right. I don't want to pressure you, but and I don't want to take the others' time as well if you don't want to contribute your idea. But what I want is from all of your teams, have some draft already now uploaded in Moodle, basic draft like lead, story, extra things like what are you going to do, for what topic are you working on, so I can take a look at that and give feedback. We can do it by, should we say by the end of the day, later on? Can you finish it by the end of today, later on?
Yes.
Maybe.
By today it has to be ready, because I that's why I given you that time. I thought you would have it ready already. So let's say by midnight tonight I want to have it, so that we can move, you can move forward in the production of it in the next stages, okay?
Yes.
All right. So tomorrow we will not have a live session here from class, okay? On Wednesday, tomorrow. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay. I know some of you are traveling from far away for only only this course. That's why. But in any case, I am available. But what you should do is that you should work with your teams and produce the results and move forward with the assignments, okay? You will hear from me via Moodle. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.